It's Opie Radio.
Yo, this is Matt Farah from the Smoking Tire Podcast. We do a podcast about cars. If you're into that sort of thing, come check us out. More importantly, I have been a fan of Greg Opie Hughes and all of his radio programs for over 20 years. I had Sirius XM 1.0 in my pimped out Explorer. Yes, I did. More recently, I have become a massive fanboy of the Cuban. My fiance even calls him my Cuban boyfriend. I swear to God. But while that man is so full of street smarts, he blows my mind every time I listen to him on the Opie Radio podcast.
Grandmothers, most of them awful hacky cooks.
Every time the Cuban opens his mouth, a little nugget of Cuban street wisdom comes out.
She'll make that apple pie money every time. Doesn't mean she's good. Bring her to the kitchen with me. I'll crush your grandma. I will embarrass her.
Last episode, I was listening, and my mind was blown by something Carl said, because for the first time, he was so wrong, and I got so angry. Carl said,
"You ever go to Silicon Valley? Those nerds got the hottest girls."
No, they don't.
Carl, what are you smoking, my friend? I have a place up in Silicon Valley, and let me tell you something. While they may build some interesting electric cars and flamethrowers and like AI vaginas that can simulate all different cultures.
My personal favorite, the Asian one, also known as Yellowtail.
But the simple truth is, those guys in Silicon Valley that were pimp enough to get hot girlfriends packed up and moved to Venice. And all that's left up there is awkward nerds fucking other awkward nerds very awkwardly. The only exception, of course, is on Thursday nights at that sugar daddy bar, and I'm not going to name names, but that's probably where Carl was, and he thinks that's representative of the whole place. While they build some cool stuff in Silicon Valley, Carl, nerds with hot girlfriends is pure fan fiction. Don't matter if you're one sex, the other sex, or somewhere in the middle. But enough out of me. What you came here for is the Opie Radio Podcast.
Well. Isn't this a nice surprise? Lamb chop! Fuck you. What's going on?
It's fucking hot, bro.
I can't believe you're going to walk all the way across town with me to go get Vic Henley for the big podcast today.
Vic Henley's texting me like crazy because he knows I'm in the city.
Yeah.
And he's like, why don't you go? Fuck you, Vic Henley. He's like, take a cab. And he tries to entice me with stuff like, drug dealers outside. And I'm like, no.
No. Wait, so you're not walking across town with me to get Vic Henley?
No, I'm not walking across town with you to get Vic Henley.
Well, then why the hell are you here?
Because we're going to go get a drink.
I can't get a drink. I got to go get Vic Henley.
Well, are you going with a bunch of 10-year-old kids? You could be drunk and we'll go pick up another drunk.
I'm on a tight schedule. Do you understand what it takes to wrangle all you guys up at once?
It's 2 phone calls.
No, I've been going back and forth with Sherrod Small. Right. So I'm trying to coordinate the whole thing. We're going to be at Gebhard's today. And it's going to be the first time that all of us are together since we got fired a year ago.
You got fired, bro.
Why can't you, just say we all got fired?
All right, we all got fired, but you got fired first.
Why can't you accept that we all got fired? I'm going to get Vic Henley.
No, we're not. We're going to 72nd Street. We're going to get a drink. I can't get a goddamn drink, Opie.
I actually need a hot dog. I want to go to Gray Papaya.
No problem.
Or Gray's Papaya, right?
Yeah, it don't matter. As long as you can afford them, you can call it Lupe's Panadas. It doesn't matter. It's cross here.
Yes, sir.
Well, I just want to catch
sir.
I want to catch the shade from the awnings because it's hot.
I don't even notice shade when I'm walking. Look at my long sleeve shirt.
Yeah, what is wrong with you? Are you scared of bees? What, are you nursing a new tattoo?
I walk around like I'm hiding track marks.
It's like you have psoriasis or something.
I don't know why I do this. I got a long sleeve shirt. It's got to be 90 degrees here in New York City.
It is. So I'm single now, bro. I'm calling the shots, cuz.
I understand that. So
I went on a date. I went on a first date.
Yeah.
This is the first date I went on that I had the power that I have now, like knowing, being a chef, and you know, I've been in a gulag for 12 years. You know what I mean?
How was the date? What did you guys do? You go roller skating or something?
Put it to you this way. we could have wrapped up the date at the bar before dinner.
What? Just sucking face?
No, I don't do PDA. I don't like that. So unless I'm at a bar and you have singles in your garter belt, then that's a different story.
Wait, so you picked up a girl at a bar? That's different than going on a date.
We met at a bar, and I haven't been closing in 10 years. I'm full back speed, full closing. Alec Baldwin, always be closing. It was incredible.
With that said, like, did you last?
Well, I mean, it's all
relative?
It's all relative. I mean, did I last as long as a commercial? No. It was like putting a monkey in a bathroom with a shotgun. All of a sudden, boom! It's all over.
That's it? Was she cool with it, or were you like...
I gave her a high five, told her, good job, sport, and I put on Sports Center. But that's...
Yeah, but you could always pull out other plays.
Yeah, I was tapped out. I was against the ropes. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't think things were going to move that quickly.
Really? Good for you. Cleaning out the pipes.
My God, it was like putting the Titanic, like lifting it out of the fucking bottom of the ocean. I look like Mike Tyson in Tokyo against Buster Douglas. All fucking reputation, no fucking punch.
That is funny, man.
You know?
Come on, man. Walk with me to go get Vic Henley. This will be cool.
You to get Vic Henley. It's a zero. There's a zero chance.
Well, we could get Gray's Papaya. I'll drop you off at the
bar, my favorite bar.
Oh, the bar we went to?
Yeah. Oh, here's Gebhard's.
Yeah, we'll be here in a little while, so
This is a lot of walking. Now I got to walk back the other way later?
I didn't want to show you this because I knew you would be bothered by that.
Look, they got us roped off already. Oh.
Look, they roped us off. It's reserved, all nice.
All the fake Europeans watching the World Cup. Look at that cat staring at those fucking pigeons.
Oh, my God, it's a cat lady. You want to talk to her, Carl?
Oh, no, I don't like the people.
We noticed your cat was eyeing those pigeons.
Yeah, the cat lives there.
Oh, yeah, the cat lives
In
there?
that pet market. He belongs.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He always on. He never catches them.
Yeah,
He ain't catching the pigeons. All right. That's a weird lady.
Yeah, so she had a stroke as she was talking to you.
But this is what I was telling you about
The heat.
at the barbecue thing. When it gets really hot in New York City, the real crazy people come out and play.
They all say hello, man. They loved you.
Huh.
Even Bill Durney, he hates everybody.
Those guys were awesome, man.
Billy wanted us to go out to Chicago, but we're going to be in Nantucket.
Yeah, we are. That's going to be a fun podcast. Vic Henley set that whole thing up.
Good job, Vic Henley, huh?
Dude, the barbecue guys were amazing. I feel like I got like a whole bunch of new friends out of that.
They are. They're great people, man. Let me tell you something. If you're ever in Mississippi or Texas or Aden, North Carolina, these guys will literally hide you. You can come with like blood on your shirt and be like, hide me. Like, you got it.
No problem.
No problem.
I didn't want to ask too many questions.
Those are real dudes, man. I enjoyed listening to that podcast.
That was awesome. It came out really well. So where was the first date?
So what happens is so this is my first date doing like, Food Network and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And knowing everybody. And I call my buddy who owns this ginormous fucking restaurant. Beautiful, 5-star everything, right? And I call him and I'm like, hey, cuz, get me, I'm coming on a date. He goes, done, chef, done. The restaurant's like 3 floors and the 3rd floor is like all private. And it's this old marble mansion.
Oh, I saw that joint on your Instagram.
Yeah. I get there and people are just... From the valet, I've come up with my VW Fox. Things leaking oil all the way up the pavement.
How annoyed were they?
Oh, they were so annoyed. And I'm like giving them instructions like, careful at reverse, don't touch that button.
Right.
That's not a fire, it's just smoke. You know what I mean? Like I had to have like a whole like conversation. Right? Don't use the e-brake. Park it against the wall.
Right.
It'll roll somewhere else. It won't be where you left it.
They must be so confused by you because they're like, wow, he's a big Food Network star, so why is he driving this piece of shit?
No, hold on one sec. Jesus. Those are the haters from Twitter just driving around with sirens.
I was going to say they're trying to revive my career.
That's funny. Before we get into this, we're going to get a hot dog. What are you getting on your hot dog?
Hear me out. I go hot dog. I go sauerkraut every time.
Perfect.
And a nice yellow mustard. That's it.
Let's do it.
I'm not as crazy as you think with my food. I don't get crazy fancy. Papayas.
How many hot dogs you get?
2.
Okay.
Is that it? That's good, right? Can I get...
Here, I'll hold it, because he's paying.
I'm paying today, sir.
Oh, dude, you're not down in pain. Opie.
Let me get your cane for you. I'm going to need one of those soon. I got a bad back. Really bad. 2 herniated discs.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
I got it. 2 mustard, sauerkraut, onion.
How many?
2 with a papaya drink.
Everything, mustard, saffron.
Yes. And then he's going to have 2 with sauerkraut and mustard.
Yes, that's it.
And 2 more mustard, saffron.
You want a papaya drink?
No, I don't believe in papaya.
And another papaya drink.
Well, what's a papaya drink?
You got to drink the papaya. The place is called Papaya. You should always order whatever the name is.
Yeah, but they got a coconut champagne.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to give you the poopies.
They got a banana daiquiri.
That doesn't have any alcohol. That way it's not a daiquiri. Okay. I'm from Cuba. That's where it comes from. Shit, Opie came out with $40. Thank God we got hot dogs.
Oh, there's mine. Thank you. Where's the yellow mustard?
He put it on there.
You put it on there?
Yes.
Oh, a little Goldens. It's more of a Goldens than a yellow mustard.
Just eat the hot dog,
Thank
Rain
you,
Man.
sir. I enjoy your dogs, brother.
Here you go. Opie wants to give you $2.
Oh, thank you so much.
He's
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Here,
Thank
you. Take that too.
He gave you. He actually gave you. Just gave the guy a dime. Just
God
Opie.
bless you, brother.
Hold on.
Get yourself a straw. I'm thinking I need a little more mustard on mine.
No, you're fine.
Why am I fine? I don't see the mustard. I drown my hot dogs with mustard. Come here. All right. I'm right here. All right. Look how annoyed you are. You're like, here. You didn't even get me a straw. I thought I did.
Don't get single, bro. You'd be out one shot.
Why?
You know, weird with your hot dog and not getting the other person's straw.
I'm sorry I didn't get your straw. Now what? Now we eat them?
You just got out of prison?
I actually love hot dogs.
I love hot dogs. That's what I like right there.
Wow. Really?
Tattooed Puerto Rican girl like that?
She looked like she just got out of prison.
I know, but wouldn't that be nice? I mean, she knows how much stuff you need when you get out of prison. I can help her.
Bro, those type of chicks.
The cabin would be like the Mount Derry Lodge to her.
That look scares the hell out of me.
Wow.
Well, why? She was sexy, but they were just. I come from a time when girls got like a little butterfly tattoo on their ankle. I was single for the tramp stamp for a little while, right? But now, man,
the butterfly. My wife had one.
Did she really?
And it was ginormous.
On her ankle?
No, on her back.
Oh, really?
A giant butterfly, and it looks like it was made by one of the ladies from Orange Is the New Black. It was made with like prison ink.
Nothing worse than.
And then she had 2 angels on her thighs. Oof. It's too much.
That's a lot, right?
Yeah, but they weren't like good. Like now people have good tattoo work.
If a tramp stamp's too big, it's.
She had like hers have her a little child trafficky looking.
But you see these girls walking around with like full sleeves and stuff.
Right.
I don't get it, man, because I just don't come from that era.
I don't mind the tattoos on girls.
The full like sleeves. What about tattoos around the boobs, man?
Off limits for me.
Thank you. Why would you do
Ruins
that?
everything.
Why would you do
That's
that?
a no tattoo zone.
And freckly cleavage drives me nuts.
Huh?
Sorry, I'm eating.
Freckly cleavage? You have freckly cleavage. Like, you have freckles.
Not on my cleavage.
Oh.
I'm saying like freckle cleavage
You mean
is the worst.
Oh. Yeah. I agree.
These hot dogs are so damn good.
Aren't they?
So then what happened with the date?
We're getting inside the restaurant. She's meeting me there. I'm having drinks with the owner. And then just run it. You didn't have to order anything. The menu, they brought us upstairs, and it's just, and then you know when things are gonna go well. Let's just put it that way. You know when I'm like, wow, that's it. I'm clicked in.
You're good to go.
I'm on top of the aircraft carrier. I'm on the catapult.
Target is locked in.
It's locked in, and then after that, there's nothing I can do wrong. Once I knew it was locked in, I stopped talking to her and I got on my phone.
There's always something you can do wrong.
Well, yeah.
The drinking. It gets to a point where you can't land the plane anymore because she's too drunk.
I've never seen that.
Oh my God, turn this off. Turn this off. We got a Me Too thing. We got a Me Too situation. I've never seen that.
I've heard about it.
Oh, that was always the drag when you just didn't like figure it out properly and you're like, fuck. 2 drinks too much, and now it's like
You want to hear
holding the hair back as they're puking in your toilet.
I'll clean them up, brush their teeth, and everything. You're fully committed.
Wow. Whoa.
What are you doing?
Bravo.
Stop. Don't clap at them. It's a hot dog place.
I want them to feel good about what they're doing.
They're not. A little bit of clapping makes people angry. They're hiding behind a hot grill, and you're here in your pajamas saying bravo.
It's a long sleeve shirt.
And you gave him a dime as a tip.
I always give my change. In this case, it was 10 cents. Sometimes they really make out, like if it's, all of a sudden you get 95 cents back.
Oh, what are they going to do?
Yeah, but I'm talking like if it's a cup of coffee and all of a sudden it's like, 3.05, I give them the 95. And then other times people get they get only a nickel or a dime.
That's
just how I work.
I got it.
That lady looks like she's ready to pop.
Yeah.
I used to have a pregnant fetish.
What?
Yeah.
I know people with that. That's a real thing?
Yeah, I used to have that.
Well, how do you know it's gone?
Because I don't know, it's just kind of gone. Like,
is it gone like right after you said, "Wow, look at that lady"?
Well, that one was rough. She was a mess. But no, I swear.
That was a thigh tattoo.
See, that's just too much, right?
What do you mean it's too much?
No, I used to when I walked around New York and you see like a young woman that was pregnant and like the boobies were engorged and stuff, and she was still wearing sexy stuff. It would drive me nuts.
You're talking about when they're like 1 day pregnant?
No, I mean, you can't be like, it can't be like 9 months.
Like first trimester.
Yeah, maybe even a little.
Whoa, baby, slow down.
I think we squeeze into the second.
Oh.
I think we squeeze into the second trimester with the fetish in full effect.
You're dead in the kid's head, dude.
I never went there.
Kid's born with a black eye.
But I never went there. It was just something kind of, I don't know, odd about it. And I'm also the creep that will absolutely try to take a peek when they're nursing in a park. Just want to let you know that. I figured it was time to let you know these things.
You're a breastfeeder watcher?
A little bit.
You got to go to a nervous hospital, bro.
I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one.
I know. I've been to the park. There's like 9 Opies laying all over the bushes. Like Navy SEALs every time someone breastfeeding.
We're stepping all over each other.
The guy hiding behind the newspapers. One guy comes out of the garbage can like Oscar the Grouch.
Oh, man. First bite of the hot dog is always the best.
That's up with everything. That's with everything. Drugs, alcohol. That first sip of beer.
So did you like your cabin?
There's no cabin.
You didn't go cabin. Smart. Where'd you go? I guess I don't need to know. But...
Oh, yeah. Probably listens to the podcast.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Bending over looking for change or something.
Got some outfit.
That's a weird outfit. Whoa. I'm not sure, right?
What is that?
That might be a guy, right?
Is that a guy? Was I just looking at a guy? God, I hate when that happens.
That might be a guy.
Fuck, I was looking at a dude.
That guy-girl thing is...
Oh, well.
Or girl-guy thing.
It's not as bad as your pregnant fetish.
The guy to a girl thing is a little weird.
They're getting good at it now.
Yeah, they're getting a little too good at it.
You ever go to Brazil?
No.
Be very careful.
Well...
This is nice. I like this. The Filipino girls. Right?
It's all right.
You don't like that?
It's all right.
How about this?
That's a mess.
What do you mean a mess? Look at that. How's that a mess?
Because you're lowering your standards.
Of course I am. I'm Home Depot. I'm volume price now, bro. I'm single, man.
Don't lower your value.
What do you mean lower my... No one... It's not like they know each other.
Well...
Who's this Yanni?
You look like Yanni.
Right? Doesn't he look like Yanni?
How good are these hot dogs? I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to them.
Oh. Stop talking to people.
I like talking to people.
All right, let's get a drink, bro. I'm shaking from not drinking.
Right. I'm not a fan of the papaya drink.
You didn't like it?
Not really. Bro, until next time.
All
cheers.
Right, they don't know you. Keep going.
What?
They don't know you. What do you think?
Why aren't you friendly?
What do you mean I'm not friendly? Because I'm a New Yorker. Fuck friendly.
Wow, I don't like this papaya drink.
You don't like it? Give it to this guy. Mr. Friendly.
You want a papaya drink, sir? I don't like it. I don't like wasting food.
No.
Okay. All right. He didn't want it. You're welcome, sir.
Hey, Autism Opie, I was joking. I didn't want you to talk to the guy.
I didn't think you needed it. I was just trying to be nice.
You're 100% embarrassing. That's 100% embarrassing.
Man, would you like my papaya drink? No. Okay, I just don't like it. I don't like wasting food. Okay, all right.
Come on, Opie.
What?
I'm not going to be able to walk with you. This is one of the reasons I'm not going to go with you to pick Vic Henley up.
Yeah, but see, as soon as I know you're like a little uncomfortable, it gets way worse now. It gets way worse.
Look at this place. This new place, huh? 7 Hills. Mediterranean. Not going to work.
Why won't it work?
This has a lot of negatives.
Why?
It's the wrong color. Right? It's white. So that's going to look dirty in about a week. The pictures on the menu, nothing is set. Everything is kind of haphazard. So right off the bat, you look at the place and you're like, they're not ready for me. They're not ready to give me a quality experience.
And you nailed some. We're looking at a poster that has all their dishes.
Right.
And they took pictures of their food terribly.
Yeah.
I learned a little bit about that when I used to film local commercials. I did all the tricks.
Commercials.
I did all the tricks to make things look way more appetizing, like adding shaving cream for whipped cream.
Smart.
I forgot what we did with the beer. There was something
We used to use milk. I used to use glue for milk on cornflakes.
What do you mean?
Elmer's glue. We used to take pictures of cornflakes.
Really?
Yeah. Because that way you don't have to keep swapping it out. Because every 5 seconds the milk's going to eat through the cornflakes. So we would use Elmer's school glue.
Now that's smart too.
It's perfect.
Oh, for the yeah.
You smell the body odor?
The what?
Someone just hit me with fucking body odor. It was awful.
It's that lady.
It was that lady.
Yeah, it was that lady right there.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he don't play. I've tried to talk to him over the years.
Don't punch in the face.
I won't bother you, sir. I know. We've had problems over the years.
Did.
I know. We're good, bro. He's staring at me. Oh boy.
course, because
Look.
I'm not looking at him, bro.
He just picked up his soup like he was going to throw it at me.
He throws a soup, then he doesn't have a problem with me.
No kidding.
I'm like, hey, guess what, asshole? Now I'm going to deal with someone full crazy. You know what shit I've lost this year? Fucking decapitate you.
Oh, I'm dropping you off over there, and then I'm going to go get Vic.
That's perfect.
Is that good?
Yeah, I don't want nothing to do with that. Come in for a drink, though.
I gotta go. We're gonna be late because we only have the joint for a few hours. Oh, there's a Cocoa Man around here.
I don't care about the Cocoa Man. I
No.
heard that thing when you were talking to the Cocoa Man about with Chris, right?
No, I've been.
Oh no, that was the honey dude.
No, I've been bothering the Cocoa Man for over a year when I go live on Instagram and Facebook and all that.
Right.
And I tell him I'm going to be in soon, but I never go in. Here he is. Watch.
I'm not going in.
Watch.
No.
Where's the Cocoa Man today? Cocoa Man? Where's the Cocoa Man? No, the main guy, the Cocoa Man. I told him I would come back for some cocoa. He's not in today? I think so, yeah. You want a papaya drink? Enjoy. I can't have it. I'm allergic. All right, I got to go. All right, they're not playing today. Oh, my God.
Jesus, Opie. I'm literally sitting here like, I might have to fight.
Yeah.
They were looking at you.
That guy was straight up gangster.
Yes.
It's not the guy I usually mess with.
No, that guy was OG, bro. And you're like, good to Cocoa Man.
Well, then I'm recording, so then I feel like I got to commit, and inside I'm like a little nervous, like,
Stuff that
fuck.
you're doing to yourself, just be like, my bad, and just walk out.
My bad. All right, here, you're going to this place, right?
I'm gonna go. You know, I joined Snapchat the other day.
Really?
Holy,
I've never done the snap.
it's a titty tornado.
Really?
I got more naked pictures in a half hour. You got to get on there.
Were they people that knew you?
Yeah.
Or were they just like strangers?
Some were
wanting to
strangers.
show their titties?
I mean, it was a mixture of everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never did the snap. No snap for the kid.
A couple trolls follow me, which is funny. And like they take like a little quick video and inside their house, and they literally live like it's fucking Turkmenistan.
Really?
Like the dudes that are like, fuck you, Opie. Like they're sitting there and they got like their kid made like wall art out of used Jiffy Pop fucking containers.
I'm finally okay with the haters, and I'll tell you why. Because I finally came to the realization, fighting a hater is like fighting a ghost.
Oh, I like that, Opie.
It's like
you know what I like
fighting
better? You have
a ghost
coleslaw on your lip, and I can't even concentrate.
Well, what the fuck? No, it's
now
like
it's on your top lip.
It's like
on your very small, thin, white top lip.
Oh,
there it goes.
Ooh. That was a little extra sauerkraut for the kid. All right, go inside, watch. Just jiggling in her little sundress, right?
Will you look at this?
I'm looking. We're looking. We're definitely looking.
You don't have to say that, Opie.
What?
We're going to catch a charge out here with your autism. Bro, stop.
I just wanted her to know we were looking.
She knew, because you know why? Because she has fucking eyes, and we have eyes, and we weren't looking at her face.
All right, go inside.
Jesus.
I got to go get Vic now.
Put on a fucking helmet and put a balloon around your
Right,
fucking wrist.
You bring this shit out in me.
What are you talking about?
I don't know why, but you do.
I'm just hanging out with my boy, and I'm like, look at this girl. You're like, we're looking at you. Who the fuck does that? You're killing me out here, kid.
Because then if she smiles, then it adds to the whole thing, doesn't it?
She's going to smile. You're a good-looking dude.
Thank you, sir. All right, go inside. I'm going to go get Vic Henley. We're going to come back and get you. We're going to come back and get you. You should be walking with me. Come with me. All right, there goes Carl. I'm going to get Vic Henley. He just gave me one of those as he walked into this just dank bar. Actually, that was the bar me and Carl started at before we did the day drinking episode with Vic Henley from Ribbon. We were in there for like 2 or 3 hours, and he was in no mood for me to turn on any recording device. So we sat there and drank as he was dealing with some divorce stuff. And then he finally got his shit together in a good way. And then we met Vic Henley. And then we did that day drinking episode, which people seem to really, really like. All right, I think I'm going to do a little time travel now. I'm walking towards Central Park. I got to get all the way on the other side and uptown a little bit and pick up Vic Henley. And then we're going to walk all the way back and get Carl. So, Joey, you take it away. Do some of that cool, like, production stuff to make it sound like I just did some time traveling. And this podcast will pick up with me outside Vic Henley's apartment.
No problem, Opie. As soon as I get my penis out of this tight AI vagina. Why don't we take a shortcut right here, and you'll be with Vic on the other side. Just do me one favor. Try not to podcast while you cross the street. It's always way too windy in those pockets of the city. You're a pro. I don't even know why I'm telling you this.
The Westwood One Podcast Network. The Tom Bernard Podcast.
I'm thinking about writing a book called 1%. I'm talking 1% of people in the world who are not either stupid, crazy, or crooked.
That'd be cynical.
Well, we're all
beautifully flawed.
Beautifully flawed?
I'd like to say that. That just sounds much more politically correct.
The Tom Bernard Podcast. Download and subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and the Westwood One Podcast app. Free from the Westwood One Podcast Network. Opie Radio.
And there's the man himself. What's up, Vic Henley?
First of all, supposed to be, you're on the wrong stoop. People have been killed for less than this.
I'm not on the wrong stoop. I'll explain what's going on here. So, how long have we known each other, for real? 4 or 5 years?
At least 5. 6,
At least 5.
6, maybe.
And we're finally getting to a point where you were outside my building where I lived.
Not allowed
I mean, it wasn't that you weren't allowed in.
Mine and I'm not letting you in.
Exactly, but this is good news. We're getting close.
Sure.
We're getting close.
We're 3 doors away.
Yeah, because for many years I didn't know where you lived, and you didn't know where I lived.
True.
So now we're at the
Apparently
point.
Carl is just allowed to walk up and ring the buzzer every single time.
Yeah, that's what happens.
I'm just looking for Carl carte blanche. I brought him a hat. He wouldn't even walk across the goddamn park.
So I felt like I was, invading your privacy. So I decided to sit on this stoop, a few down, just to give you a little room, as we work out this relationship. But I think we're close to seeing each other's apartment.
Well, maybe. I'm not sure yet. I don't know. I'm really not sure. Maybe. I don't know. Yours has been under renovation for how long? 27 years?
Pretty much 2 years.
27 years.
Yeah, exactly. So,
you have an outdoor space? I have an outdoor space that you'll never see.
Wait.
It smells like a litter box right now.
Why does it smell like a litter box?
There's one tree left that for a couple of weeks every June, it has to do its pollen urination thing. And so it's like, if Ron White would always, when I told Ron about this, he was hanging out with me, and he was like, cat piss season! I love it. I like it. Bad time.
Opie, don't forget to pause while you're crossing the street. A little windy.
So I just have to keep the door closed.
Now, I've heard of the trees that smell like splooge.
Ooh. I don't know this.
Oh, absolutely. We used to talk about that on the old version of the radio show, but like early spring, they start blooming, and it literally smells like splooge.
Well, there were 3 of these, and it rained so bad, and there were 3 of them, and the co-op was so happy that it flooded the back, and 2 of them fell over and just landed on the top of the building and didn't hurt anything.
Right.
They just literally like a telephone pole leaned over and the roof stopped them, and then they got to cash in on $1 jillion.
Nice.
Insurance claim, and they've got them all removed, and they left one. One of them didn't turn over, and then so listening to all the fancy people go, just tear that one up, because there's like pigeons that live in it, and there's every now and then somebody gets some bird poop or something weird, and
nothing wrong with a good insurance scam.
But it was so good. We were so happy. Everyone involved.
I'm not saying I've been involved with an insurance scam, but I'm a big fan of insurance scams because I think those mother effers are constantly trying to screw you anyway. So if you can get one over on them, I'm all in.
Both my brothers got accused of insurance fraud.
Really?
And they were not. They were just running with the wrong crowd, so to speak. But they were both running around this guy, and he had all kinds of Bernie Madoff pyramid fraud scam companies that none of it worked. And so Mike and Terry did go on vacation with him. They did.
All right.
Hey, you want to go to the Virgin Islands? Who the fuck don't want to go to the Virgin Islands?
But why was it illegal to go to the Virgin Islands?
The guy got convicted. I think he's still in white collar jail. And,
okay.
But it was, you were running around with him, so if you were writing his insurance on one of his fake companies, then it looked like you were in on the scam. So, but they both had to go back, and there was whole depositions, and they told everything, and then they were absolved, and everything was fine.
There's a little excitement, though.
But Mike to this day goes, who don't want to go to the fucking Virgin Islands? That's his comeback, 40 years later.
Opie, do you hear me, bro?
Wouldn't you want to go to the Virgin Islands?
And he's wearing the T-shirt that says, I'm a Virgin Islander.
Okay. All right. So, he's not one of those guys that wears the wacky T-shirts, is he?
No, he just, at that time.
Okay.
He was 25 or whatever.
My dad was well, let's just put it this way, an entrepreneur slash
I remember the
scammer.
Business. I remember the concrete business is one of the greatest.
That was just to keep us busy. That wasn't a business. That was to keep us out of our crazy mom's hair.
Right.
For the people that don't know, my dad decided to keep us busy that we would do a lot of cement work around my house, building walls and paths that went nowhere. Literally, we go to nowhere. I'm like, Dad, this path is going up into the woods. Just keep pouring concrete.
We're outside.
Right.
It's a beautiful day. Stay away from her.
Did I ever tell you this one, that my family was part of a church?
No.
So we didn't have to pay taxes?
No.
True story. My dad ran with these guys, and they were all entrepreneurs, and they always had a way around shit. And one of them was that...
Greg, what the fuck?
My dad created his own church. And because he created his own church...
The wind.
We didn't have to pay sales tax on stuff.
So it was what did he call it?
I don't remember, Vic. I wish I remembered.
The Reverend, was his name? Was his name involved? Was there...
I honestly don't remember.
You don't, nothing.
I got to think you have to put Jesus in there somewhere, right?
Well, it depends on what religion it is. It can be Allah or Jah or...
It was a tax...
Hindu.
It was a tax scam. But it was all on the up and up. I think they've changed the laws and the rules since then, because I don't hear of this anymore. But we had to walk around as kids with a tax exempt form. And whatever we paid for, we had to hand in the tax exempt form and say we're part of a church, so they wouldn't charge us the tax. And it was always humiliating going with my friends. I never pulled that thing out, but I was always asked when I got home, did you pull out your tax exempt form?
That's so insanely crazy. You never even told me.
Yeah.
I just wish you could think of the name.
I can't remember. You know what? I'll
Sacred Heart, Bleeding, something, Christ Church.
You know what? I'll text my brother as we're walking.
He'll know. Yes.
My brother Scott has a much better memory than me. Let's see if he comes up with it. As we walk
I think he will.
As we walk to go meet Carl, who I left at a dive bar.
We have the full-on Hasidic. No, it's the Mohawk of Hasidim.
I see that.
It's usually, I've seen the curls.
That's curly fries.
Yes, I've seen the curls, but usually you don't see the fully shaved head and just the curls. So this guy is serious. And yet, his wife doesn't have her head covered.
No, she's
just walking around in blue sneakers, so they may be the rednecks of Hasidim. they're on the fringe out here. I don't know what's their progressive.
Oh my God!
And yet not. I don't know.
The Shiites are the best though. Where the men are allowed to walk around and when it's 100 degrees out in cargo shorts and sandals and a t-shirt, and the women have to be completely covered.
Well,
how is that a thing? I don't get it. I'm not making fun of anyone's religion. I just simply don't get it.
Again, you got to look up Tater Saddle's joke on this because he has a joke about the place that they only allowed one eye hole, not two. He's got a whole bunch of material about it, and I'm not going to do his act. But look up a little Tater Salad, one eye hole.
I will absolutely look that up. All right, let me. Yo, Scott. I'm podcasting with Vic Henley, and I'm trying to remember the name of Dad's church when we were growing up, when we had the tax-exempt forms. Vic is laughing as I text you this. Get back to me. I need the answer. Bye.
This is too good to be true.
No, no, it's real, man.
No, I believe you. I'm just saying. This was a Fred Sanford episode. This was a Sanford and Son, and I forgot how it played out, but it somehow or another backfired on them. Then we need to go this way.
Nice.
It somehow backfired on them. So we're walking in at 90th Street at the Reservoir. This is where I go every day for a couple hours.
Beautiful.
There's usually a little man that sits in there. He's been sitting there for about 70 years.
Doing what?
Nothing. Telling people, go around.
That's his whole job? Go around.
That's a volunteer. Where are we? You're in the lake. Go around. Circle.
Now, I'm surprised I've never seen you because we're on the horse path.
We're on the bridle path yet.
The bridle path, they call it officially, yes. And I do that. I do the biking.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I've never been on the bridle path like this. I'm always on the outside doing the loop on my bike.
I was getting my first divorce, and there was 4 or 5 people. Like, I was getting a divorce. 2 dudes I knew were 7-8 year relationships were breaking up, where they'd lived together and moved across country and stuff. And then another girlfriend of one of them, same thing. She found out her husband was a crackhead.
Whoa!
Like 2 months before their wedding, and he's in jail. He has to call her from jail. He's been tricking her on every single time he would go, well, I'm having boys' night out on the weekend or something. He's somewhere smoking crack.
In like a crack house?
Yes, like a crazy hidden double life Wall Street thing, you know?
But how could you hide that from your wife that you're an actual crackhead? Wouldn't there be signs like your teeth falling out and losing a lot of weight?
If it's 1 day a week or whatever, he's got his time that he's doing his thing. So if it's heroin or crack or pills or whatever, I don't know. But she joined us on, and we used to everything had happened within 1 month. So everybody's relationship crumbles for whatever reason. And so we would come out here at 7:30 in the morning, 9 o'clock. Sometimes we'd walk 2 or 3 times a day. And it was just like, we need to walk off the hate. and it's just 4 of us out here just stomping along.
Right.
Yeah, just mad.
And then you got to hear, go around.
It's from the guy. So, totally. But it was so strange. But that's when I started doing this. And then she ended up giving us all a book called Nature Walks of Central Park, and so it started telling you, we're like, here's the biggest tree, here's the oldest tree,
right?
Here's this, here's why this is called this, blah, blah, blah.
Well, this view here, unfortunately, we don't have video. We're like right next to the reservoir in the middle of Central Park. That view's been in a million movies.
Oh, absolutely. I used to, when my friends from Europe come over here, I'd point to this and go, we don't have castles, so we just build buildings that look
like castles, right?
That's,
What was the Michael Douglas movie? Devil's Advocate? Help me out.
Wall Street is Michael Douglas. Keanu Reeves is Devil's Advocate.
Yeah, but wasn't Michael Douglas in that as well?
No, it's Al Pacino.
Al Pacino, yeah, of course, duh. Oh, what an idiot. Yeah. So Devil's Advocate, they use this shot in the movie a lot with the sun going down or coming up. Anyway, that's too visual for this, but whatever.
Nah, but if you're going to go Devil's Advocate, I gave a shout out to Judy Ivey, my friend's wife.
Really?
Yeah, who played Keanu's mom.
Right.
But Judy's fabulous. So you will see Judy on Nantucket.
Yay! Yeah, we're going to Nantucket. I can't wait.
Judy on Nantucket.
We'll be podcasting from Nantucket, matter of fact.
Judy's funnier than most comics I know.
Well, that's not a stretch.
Well, if you're a 50-year legend,
no, there's a lot of
stage.
Well, what do you mean by funnier? Because what I've discovered over the years is like there are guys that can put a set together that is hilarious, but then when you talk to them, they're not funny at all.
Oh, okay, right, a little bit, sure. We've got Stephen Wright's opening for Ron White. How's that on the show Friday that we're going to be on Nantucket?
And he'll come on the show?
So
the podcast?
I don't know. This is the thing. I started asking. He's odd, and he's Stephen Wright, and he's absolutely brilliant. But if I'm like, can I get him? And I called Don Gavin, who's going to host the show, and Gav's like, just leave him alone.
He'll come if you want.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
Dude, he was on the show once, and I am a huge Stephen Wright fan, and it was just such a weird appearance. I don't remember if it was good, but I don't remember it was bad. I just remember it was strange. Like he would get up and just kind of wander around and point at stuff like, "What's this?" And we'd explain something, and it's like, we're doing a radio show. It's not visual. Why that over there? And I'm like, is he putting on an actor? That's just him, right?
Yes, absolutely. He would come to town. He would do Letterman, and Eddie Brill was the warm-up on the Letterman show for 1,000 years. And so you're doing Letterman. You've done it. And so there's a hotel. They're flying you in. You're at the W or something really nice. And Eddie, I'm just gonna go home with you. Your couch is the most comfortable. I just got
really?
Yeah. And so Eddie's like, well, come on, buddy, no problem.
I respect that.
They're putting you. I don't really. No, that confuses me. So
we going toward the boathouse?
Yes. We're gonna go over here and we're gonna go around.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. Good.
We can go on the street that way.
No worries.
I'll stay on the dirt. But Don Gavin was letting me know. I'm like, what does he want to do with that fancy hotel? Do you want to put him here? Do you want to put him there? And he was exactly what you just said. He's like, Henley, I've known a guy for 30-something years, and he's calling me, and I don't know if he's joking. I don't know. He's not bitching.
No, not at all.
No, he's just going, I just kind of think maybe it'd be better. And you're like, okay. And everything, it just seems like he's leaving you hanging. And then he actually isn't leaving you hanging. He's waiting on you to come back and go, oh, no, then we're supposed to do this. And
right.
All right, I guess. I don't know. It's going to be a treat. I can't wait.
I can't wait to go up to Nantucket, have some fun with you guys, podcast a little bit. I love Nantucket.
Well, Ron was like, I'm like, he likes to do a shorter set, so I'll have this and this, and then you close. And he goes, and he kind of was hesitant for a second. And I go, what's the matter? Can you not find more comedic icons that I have to follow?
Well, it's one of those all-star shows.
It is.
There's not a good spot for any of you guys.
Well, that's what I said last year was I hosted, and Jimmy Dunn and Don Gavin and Foxworthy. We were that was the 4 shows. So
that's awesome.
And I took a picture in the green room. I'm like, this is literally 135 years of comedy sitting here.
Right.
So.
That's unbelievable. That's a lot of good careers right there. When you think of Stephen Wright, then you have to think Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, I know. So
I met Mitch Hedberg the day before he died.
I knew the Carolines. Wasn't it at Carolines?
The day before he died, I went and saw him at Carolines, and he crushed. He looked healthy, too, because I heard all the stories over the years leading up to that. And then I went in the green room, and we met. He knew about the Opie and Anthony show at the time. Gave me like a crazy-ass, cool-ass hug. We exchanged numbers, and he was literally going to come on the show, the next day or a couple days later. And sure enough, the next day he was dead. And know it's
great dude.
Know it's weird. The Caroline sign on the stage?
Oh, yeah.
I think they changed it out since, but for years after he died, I would look at a dent in one of the letters. I wish I could remember what letter, but it doesn't matter, I guess. And I remember when I saw Mitch Hedberg, he was doing a bit, and he took the microphone and he banged it really hard. And I remember, it was just one of these weird things I noticed, and I noticed that he left a dent. So then every time I would go to Caroline's, I would just see that little dent.
That's pretty good.
I mean, it's not, but it was just one of those things.
They got the old sign. They've got the original comic strip sign. It's not hanging. it's laying in the floor in the back of the room because they remodel because of Seinfeld's Netflix special, so they switched the stage around. And but the old sign, it looks like the bubble of a cartoon in the newspaper, and it's Eddie Murphy and Seinfeld and Colin and Chappelle and Attell and Rock and Sandler and
wow.
It's laying in the goddamn floor. They literally have no idea. Seamus, who was just in my apartment, not you.
No, but I feel good. I'm telling you, we're so close. We're so close. You know where I live, and now I know where you live.
Yeah, Seamus wants to steal it because there's no telling what amount of. Donate it to charity, auction it somewhere. Really.
Oh, so they're never putting the sign back up?
They're just long and slow on the renovation, and it's been laying in the floor for like a year and a half.
So why don't you ask them if you could just have it? And put it up in your apartment or something.
You don't ask a lot of the comedy club owners.
Yeah,
anything.
You're right. God, you're right.
You don't really. No, you don't. You hate to go, can I get a drink?
Right,
really,
right.
That's about as far as you should go.
Do you mind if I get a Sprite on the house?
Is that okay?
Right.
No. Can I have the mozzarella sticks? Yes, you can, but don't you dare ask for the fucking empanadas.
I've heard those stories. Well, I've seen those stories myself, where comedy clubs will let the comedians order from part of the menu, but not the big entrees.
And the worst part of it is total hypocrisy. They will let the headliner, who's making the most money, order off the whole menu, and the dude that needs the free meal, he's the one limited to the chicken wings, or that's it. They literally, the guy that's making $250, they're going chicken wings and mozzarella only, and then the guy's making $3,000, they're going, I have a steak. Have you had the food? It's delicious.
Right.
Fucking awful.
And the opener is eating off the kids' menu.
Yes, exactly. And then the middle, he's somewhere in the middle. He gets like chicken breast. He gets chicken marsala. But don't you dare ask for the fucking steak.
I thought there was so much like crazy shit that us radio guys had to deal with over the years, but man, the stuff you guys have had to deal with, fuck, unbelievable. Just the shitty pay, ordering off only part of the menu,
the condescension,
the condo,
oh god,
where they put you up, all that crap.
Oh, the condos are there was one of the, he's still the dude that there were two guys, Funny Bone and the Improv, and they had a Funny Bone divorce, and he was so stingy, which he freely admitted. He would come in when they had Cincinnati, Columbus, and Cleveland. So you went up and down. It's 5 hours, between Cincinnati and Cleveland, 4.5, and he wouldn't even pay for his own goddamn hotel. He would come and sleep on the same couch that the MC slept on.
Jesus.
He would still come in there, and we're like, dude, you're a millionaire. You got season tickets to the Cavs and the Browns and the Indians, and you're paying, $75.
Oh, my God.
It's just the weirdest.
You got to treat yourself after a while.
It was so funny, and some of those guys are like that. It just makes no sense at all. And then I like it when some of them, there's only two regular ones, 3 or 4. Mike Lacey at Comedy Magic in Hermosa Beach, and Mark Ridley at the Comedy Castle in Detroit. And Jordan Hawley in Lexington, Kentucky. So they're literally like 5 people who are on the category of good club owner. There's just not.
Why are there so many shitty club owners?
They're just part of a chain, and it's a whole bunch of, it's about like this cop car is about to run us down.
I see that. Go around. Hi, officer.
They heard you. They wondered what we're doing. If you see something, say something. Two white men looking too affluent. One of them's holding some sort of device.
That almost.
It could be electronic. I'm not really sure. He may be.
It's some
about
kind
to detonate. Right.
Yeah, it does look like something that could detonate.
It does, totally.
Or some kind of Ghostbusters thing. How was your vacation, man? Down south?
Oh man, we had a great time. Lake Martin is the best thing in Alabama, and my brother was a big old host, and my niece was wonderful, and we dragged the kids around on inner tubes and beat them to death, and and it was really funny because my brother's conservative, so he won't yank them outside the wake, and then my niece's husband he's super dangerous. So we're going around the corner where my brother can't see, and we're just murdering them. And we didn't throw them off. We never lost one of them the entire time. We got air. There was 5 feet of air. You could have walked underneath it. It was so.
And they were holding on.
They were holding on for dear life, and it was so much fun. You give thumbs up for faster, thumbs down for slower, or keep it the same. And all it was thumbs up the entire time. So.
I miss tubing. I used to love it. When I go see Brother Weeze, he has a boat. We do the tubing on the Lake Ontario.
There's an island that has somebody put some goats on it, and they just started multiplying, and so it's in the middle of the lake, and everybody just goes over there and feeds the goats. It's Goat Island. And so as soon as you roll up in your boat, all the goats come running because they're used to people feeding.
What's up with humans where they see an island and their first thought is, we got to populate this with one animal? I've seen the islands that are, infested with cats. I've seen the iguana islands. I never heard of a goat island.
The roosters are in the Keys. I think.
That's right.
There's chickens and roosters running around everywhere.
There's a lot of those fucking islands.
But somebody did this, and so, for kids, so it's a hillbilly petting zoo in the middle of the lake. It's for free. All you got to do is roll up there.
Nothing wrong with free.
Oh,
nothing wrong with free entertainment.
We had a great time. We jumped off Chimney Rock, there's 3 or 4 levels. There's like one that's like a 40 feet, and there's another about 80, and then there's another one that's like 100.
Is there really?
Oh yeah, and it's all. They've graffitied the whole thing. It's crazy good. Chimney Rock again, Lake Martin.
How high have you done?
40.
Yeah.
But I did 80 growing up in another place near my house. Yeah.
Because 40's even ridiculously high.
Cameron is 10 years old and could not wait. And everybody his age and younger were going off. And
all the way to 100?
All the way. No, they were going off the 40.
Oh, the 40. Okay.
But there were kids that were still younger than him going off like the 80.
Isn't 100 where it could get to a point where you could really be hurt?
Well, if you land wrong, if you just go sideways for some reason, say you spaz out and land on your side, you'll bust 9 ribs or something crazy like that. And there's everybody says you don't know what's underneath there and you're going to hit a stump.
Sure.
And that is true, but when something's been there for 1,000 years, there's no stump. But you can land wrong. You could fling yourself off and get crazy sideways in the air and do the ultimate belly flop or back flop. And
I got to interrupt you. See that lady right there?
Oh, God.
She was just topless.
Oh, I didn't really.
And it's an old lady in a bikini.
From the 70s.
From the 70s.
Very.
And she was, this brought up, that's pretty cool, actually.
It was kind of Florence Henderson. It was very Florence Henderson for a
It gives you a whole different look at the park. But it's like more secluded, and that lady was topless. Then she saw us coming, and she wasn't shy about putting her top on. She put it on really slowly. She's got to be, I would say she's at least 60-something.
I was going to say 65.
And look at her body, though. It's banging. Look at the ass now. Now she turned to show us her ass.
And she's on the phone saying 2 creepy dudes are talking about
yeah, okay.
Some sort of detonator device. As they walk through the park.
You were missed, man. Me and Carl did the Big Apple BBQ Fest, and the U-Bahn gang, they are off the hook cool, man.
They're the best in the world.
Oh, my God. I met so many people through Carl. I was there 2 days, and really just a whole bunch of cool people, but the U-Bahn people especially hung out the most, and they were the greatest.
That Bloody Mary mix, my mother puts in meatloaf.
Yeah, of course, I can see that.
And it's got the spice, it's got the kick. It's way better than the old crappy ketchup.
Right.
And there are other things. They have a whole website on things people are doing with the Bloody Mary mix other than making Bloody Mary.
Sure. I needed you, though. I needed a translator.
They are.
I got to interrupt you because we just passed where they do Shakespeare in the Park. And every time I ride my bike past where they do Shakespeare in the Park here in Central Park in New York City, I think of the time Judy Gold was bragging about doing Shakespeare in the Park.
I remember that.
I just got to mention it again. And
it's great. So good how long you were.
And without making a joke, I wasn't going for a thing.
No.
I truly thought she meant she was doing Shakespeare in the Park where there's other people that do that, but they find just a tree somewhere and set up camp and do a little Shakespeare. And she looked at me. She was so mad. Because for the life of me, I didn't think for a moment that she actually got the big gig, the real Shakespeare in the Park.
Yeah.
I know she
They
did,
were doing an
and she crushed it.
Version of something.
Taming of the Shrew.
Right, all female.
Yeah.
But
No, she crushed it.
I was sitting there that day. She was absolutely wonderful because you couldn't have been more stupid. And admitting your stupidity the whole time. You're freely.
And it just made it funnier because I'm like, I'm such an idiot.
And then I had seen the thing that you had seen, so I was able to actually go, no, I know what he's trying. She was like, I know what he's fucking talking about. There's like 8 people standing out there, and they're on the side of a hill, just doing.
I was confused. I'm like, should I be congratulating her for this? And then when we found out it was the real thing, then of course. But some of those Shakespeare's in the Park, they do like topless. Have you seen that one? That was a few years back. They did a Shakespeare in the Park, not the real one where they find a tree, but it was a big deal because they decided to do the whole play topless. And then,
I did Julius Caesar last year, and they were, everybody was livid about that.
Oh, right.
They were trying to lose sponsors and whatever, and the theater went, we don't care at all. They did what the Masters Golf Tournament did. We're the Delacorte Theater. We're Shakespeare in the Park. Shove it up your ass. We don't care. Okay, Delta. Sorry, Visa. Don't care. We're still doing this play this way.
How's your brothers, by the way? You got to see him again down south.
Oh, I told you he was the host on the lake.
But he's doing good. And
he told me. Okay, he told me this is where we're riding around on the boat, and he goes, I need you to come over here and talk to Carl, not our Carl, his neighbor. And I go, why do you need me to? No, this will really be solid. You need to help me out here. And I'm like, okay, you've never asked me. I'm happy to. And Carl's from Big Pharma, and he basically starts companies and runs them up to about 40 million and then sells them and then starts another company and does this again. And
nice life.
Carl's banker,
wow,
who is in Auburn, Alabama, that finances all these deals. And his last name is Martin, I think, but Carl calls him Martini. And he's like, he loves you. He loves the show. He thinks this is great. You need to come over here and just call. We're going to get on. We're going to talk to Carl, and then we're going to call Martini, and he's going to be thrilled to death.
Fans of the podcast?
Fans of the show. Fans of all the show, podcast, the whole thing. All the way. No, he knows. Carl thinks it's funny that we have a Carl.
Right.
They know Sherrod. They know DeStefano. They are
no shit.
Full on, right up who the 9 people were that were listening before we got fired.
Which is a year ago, by the way.
I know, it's almost our anniversary.
Yeah, that's why we're doing the whole, for the first time today, if everyone shows up, it's going to be me, you, Sherrod, and Carl Louise, the Cuban. So it's going to be fun. That's where we're heading. We're going to Gebhard's, but we got to get Carl out of this dive bar. This dark, horrible dive bar.
Is it the one on...
The one we did that pop-up that one time. Where you came in drunk and you were like Angry Vic and everyone loved you.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
It's actually a cool place. They actually have a good jukebox in there.
No, they really do. You're absolutely
The music's really good. Drinks are all right. And then and they have the classic miserable bartender.
Yes.
A guy that's got to be, I don't know if I had to guess, easily pushing 70 probably.
I used to, when Caroline's, when Elaine's was open on like 87th and 2nd there, the old miserable guy lived in my neighborhood, and he kind of liked me. And I knew him from the clubs and this, that, and the other. And they would have a buzzer. They wouldn't let you in. They were open till 4. And you could stand there in front of the window, and they would just shine you.
Right.
Or they would push the button and let you in. And his name was Tommy, and he was fucking miserable. Cussed everybody out. But he played the shit. They had a
I bet you he loved working that button, though.
I'm sure.
Because he was so miserable, he could play God like, I don't feel like letting you in this time.
Was sitting there and like looking like Buddy Hackett in a Moo Moo.
Oh, Jesus.
With the big Old Navy black rim glasses.
Right.
Oh, God. Just like picture, and Robert Altman is sitting there smoking weed openly in front of everybody.
Beautiful.
It's a pipe tobacco, but he's just cramming skunk in it.
Right.
Sitting there smoking. And they would, we'd roam up there every now and then, leaving the club, and we'd go, hey. And they were like, we can't get in here. That guy's meaner than fuck. I'm like, no, he knows me. He lives across the street. And I would see him in the neighborhood in the morning getting coffee and bagels and shit. So he would always let me in. He'd fucking hit the buzzer. So I'd walk up in there. Oh,
beautiful.
I'd walk up in there every now and then, and they're like, dude, hey, here we go.
We had the same situation in Buffalo when I was living there. It was a dart bar that we liked going to, electronic darts. And They had the same thing with the buzzer you in. Problem was, the reason they had the buzzer was because it was in a horrible neighborhood, this bar. Just off Allen Street in Buffalo. It was literally pretty much a few steps into the ghetto. I think they were called what were they called? The fruit streets, I think. I think Rick James lived on one of the fruit streets in Buffalo. Someone's got to help me out. But it's a whole bunch of streets like named after fruits, and it's a terrible, terrible neighborhood. Terrible. But they had this really cool bar that a lot of me being young at the time, where all us younger people liked going. So
there's a speakeasy on the Upper East Side right now, and I haven't been there. But again, the aforementioned Seamus was talking about it, and it looks like an ice cream store, and it looks like a Dippin' Dots or a Froyo or some kind of 16 handles, and it's literally between 88 and 89 on 2nd Avenue, and you have to say, can I see the storeroom or the warehouse or something?
Yeah.
And then they hit the thing and the wall goes up and you
no kidding.
Yes, it's a full
That's awesome.
I think it only seats about 30, 35 people, something like that. I haven't done it yet, but Seamus has been twice, and he told me about it.
That's badass,
and we stood on the street, looked through the window, and he goes, you could see the hinge. He goes, see, it was because they're only open on the weekends, I think.
But there's nothing illegal going on in there.
No,
They're just
just trying to be funny and have a hidden bar that nobody knows about.
Well, that's badass, because then the word would get around and people would absolutely want to check out the hidden bar. So
I think it's just Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because we were out there on like a Monday, Tuesday, and we were standing on the street and he was explaining it to me and showing it to me, and I'm like, ooh, you can fucking totally see where the door would just swing open.
Well, we're almost, we're kind of on the outskirts of Strawberry Fields.
You put us on, yes.
On the other side of the park. We're getting close to getting Carl.
We missed the boathouse.
I know, I wanted to walk by there, but I like the conversation though.
Well, the boathouse, I told you, the Woody Harrelson Woody Harrelson had been on Nantucket for the festival like 5 years ago, and Jackie Flynn and the Farrellys put all the Boston guys in the movies. So all the Boston comedians get a cameo or some little thing. So I'm in here with Nikki, and we're hanging out, and we're having a drink, having a Pimm's Cup.
A Pimm's Cup? I almost know what that is finally.
So I go walking in the men's room, and Woody Harrelson comes right in behind me, and he goes in the stall, and I'm at the urinals. But I go, hey Woody, it's Vic Henley. I met you with Jackie Flynn a couple of years ago in Nantucket, and he's like, Jackie Flynn's a fucking psychopath.
Really?
I mean, in a really. So, but we're talking. I'm peeing. I don't know what he's doing. But we're talking through the fucking, just, where we got fired.
Right.
And
the stall. Jesus.
And so we're talking, and he goes, I go, all right, buddy. So I finished peeing, and I'm about to walk out. I'm like, an older guy was coming in, like a 70-something-year-old man, and I'm like, hey, Woody, I'm leaving now, so don't keep talking, because we're going to scare the shit out of this man. And he was like, all right, good to see you, Vic.
That's classic. Now we're underneath the Dakota on 72nd and Central Park West, looking up at Yoko Ono's joint. She's really old.
Walk across the side of the street over
Why?
Because it bothers me.
Why?
Because it's just too close to ugly, horrible. Seriously, when my friends would come and visit me, I'm like, I'm only going to stand on the opposite corner, and you can go over there and take all the pictures you want. This is creepy to me.
Yeah, to this day,
it's creepy to me. Sorry.
To this day, the tourists take pictures exactly where John Lennon was shot.
Fucking stupid.
We're going to actually walk right by it.
Yeah,
Sorry, Vic.
Like I know.
Which sadly brings us back to a time when Opie was taking video of tourists taking pictures in front of the Dakota, where John Lennon was assassinated.
Here's the entrance to the Dakota. Yeah, get a picture where he was murdered. There you go. Beautiful. Smile. That's where he was murdered.
And since this one's in poor taste on behalf of the leader of the Beatles, here's a backwards message for you tourists who like to take pictures in front of the Dakota, where John was killed. Oh, if I say halfway.
You really don't like it?
I don't like it one bit. I'm dead serious. But I'll do it. Here we go. We got a light.
I'm not sure if we talked about it on the podcast, but I live in the neighborhood, and my wife has seen Yoko Ono a couple times, and she's now in a wheelchair pretty much full time.
Okay, well.
But she's got to be 80? She was older than John Lennon, right?
Yes, she was. Absolutely.
By 7 or 8 years, I think.
Maybe, I don't know. This is your wheelhouse, but I think he was the oldest Beatle. George was the youngest Beatle. No, Ringo's the oldest Beatle.
Well, know what you got to do when you walk by the Dakota. You don't think of it as the place John Lennon was shot. You think Rosemary's Baby. You think Vanilla Sky.
You can flip it back over. I'll go with you. Now you're making me happy. Thank you for recovering. But yes, Rosemary's Baby.
We are now walking exactly where John Lennon was shot, and we're done. We're done. We're past. That was it.
I know.
And Mark David Chapman was hanging out.
Don't even stop.
Okay. But right here. Right?
Stop.
Or was it the other side?
No,
I think it was right here.
I don't like it.
He hung out all day waiting. Okay, I'll shut up.
With his copy of Catcher in the Rye.
Right.
So.
I'll shut up. My brother wrote back.
Oh, did he? Okay, he answered in the name of Dad's
Yeah,
church.
but now I gotta this started on the other side of the park where I was telling Vic that my dad was an entrepreneur / scammer with his friends, but it was all on the up and up and legal. So I asked Scott, because you want to know the name of the church. I go, Scott, I'm podcasting with Vic Henley, and I'm trying to remember the name of Dad's church when we were growing up. He wrote, holy crap, I obviously repressed that. He goes, I'll probably remember it bolting awake in the middle of the night in a puddle of sweat and tears.
I love it when you call your family, because this is very similar to every answer. Whichever siblings you call, the answers are almost like this every single time. Like, oh my God, I forgot about that. I was trying to block that out. It always starts with that.
No.
And it's something really funny.
I'm one of 7. And the ones that have shitty memories like me did much better than the siblings that have a really good memory.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
And then he writes, this is funny because it sort of went like this. He wrote, Hugh's child, meaning any one of us,
right,
says, I have a tax exempt certificate, cashier. You're a church, little boy?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am. But even worse than having the tax exempt, if we didn't use it, we would get in trouble. I'm like, Dad,
sure.
We're teenagers. We're hanging out with our friends. We can't pull out a tax exempt because we're buying new shoes or new sneakers or something.
No, you have to. If I'm going to perpetuate this scam, you're a participant. You don't have any choice.
Oh, my dad, there was years there. He's like, I read an article. You don't have to file income taxes.
Right.
He did all that shit. It's like, income taxes is actually illegal.
Well, tax evasion. Yeah, we're scaring small children on the street.
Just turn around.
We're scaring small children on the street.
Obviously, someone passed us that works for the IRS.
It said something like, that was crazy. You really did scare the little, he's a Pokemon. You scared a little Pokemon boy.
Oh, so I got to tell you one other thing, because we're coming up on the bar. So I've been doing my fishing the last week or so.
Perfect.
And, we all deal with, the haters online, right?
Yes.
They finally got me. So I caught a striped bass, and my fishing buddy, he had his phone, so he's like, I'm going to film you reeling it in. And it was a nice sized fish. It was about 30, 31 inches, and
right.
legal's 28. Good eating, right? So then I posted on my YouTube channel, because people always ask about my fishing. Here's me,
It's real, it's true.
Yeah, here's me pulling in a nice striped bass, whatever. It's not supposed to set the world on fire or anything, but here's a little taste of my fishing life, right?
Right.
These motherfuckers, and I can't be mad at them. I can't be mad at them, for real.
No.
They're convinced that I need attention so bad that I put a dead fish on the line just so I could reel in a monster fish.
No.
And I was mad at first, and then I'm like, man, that's good. That's good.
Fine.
And then I looked at the video a few times, and if you look at it, it certainly looks like it could be a dead fish. It's not. I'm here to tell you it's not. And a lot of these striped bass, especially the bigger ones, when you reel them in, they're exhausted by the time
you do.
By the time you get them in shore. And then I'm like, I don't know if I could ever prove this wasn't a dead fish on my line. But then at the end of the video, you actually could see the back fin, moves up and down.
I saw that episode of Andy Griffith. And
wait, do they have something like that?
There's several. That's a sitcom classic from a million years ago. Or somebody, but you got to appreciate it. Like they were like, no, you should just admit it. No, I did.
Yeah.
I woke up at 4 a.m. and drove to the fishmonger and bought the biggest motherfucker.
Right.
They just got off the boat, came back before daylight, put it on my hook, threw it in the ocean, went over, woke up my neighbor, told him to come back.
You know what? I mean, the guys I fish with, trust me, they're not gonna deal with me doing any horse shit like that. These guys are hardcore fishermen. I'm a newbie, relatively speaking, compared to these guys. So, but I was mad at first, and then I'm like, I mean, if this is how you want to spend your day,
fine.
Like I told Carl earlier, fighting with haters is like fighting a ghost.
Well, no, that's why
you can't fight with ghosts, right?
One of the
and
best
you can't fight with haters.
All my friends' kids who are range from 8 to 18, all of them forever. They love going. You guys just don't give a fuck. I'm like, well, why would you give a fuck? I'm not listening to some idiot. Who gives a shit? Doesn't matter one goddamn bit.
Right.
I'm fine. We're fine. Everything's good. It's no big deal.
But now that I talked about the video where they think I reeled in a dead fish, now that video's going to do well because everyone's going to want to check it out. So check it out on my YouTube channel, Opie Radio.
It's almost as big as the hog in your pants.
Well, Vic, that was an awesome walk from your apartment. We're outside the dive bar where Carl is, where I dropped him off a long time ago at this point. So
there he is smoking.
Where? Is that him?
No. Is that him?
Yeah, that's him. Is that Nick Solaris?
It is. Oh, it's both of them. Here he is.
Hey!
How are you, sir?
Good to see you, chaps.
You all right?
What's up, Nick?
We just
Give me a hug, brother.
How are you having?
Good to see you. Good, real good.
We're recording you live?
We're finishing up this podcast.
I'm about to blend into the new one.
And he loves the hat.
He loves the hat.
I love it.
Bro, I left you a long time ago. I am fucking tired, exhausted.
Chilling.
You're in good shape?
I was part of a fight at the bar. No. They kicked some fucking guy out. Oh, it was the best.
What was the fight over?
Freeloading.
So this guy comes behind me.
It was a football fan. Or
a soccer fan. And he comes in the back and he's watching.
Did they lose?
Argentina's losing. Good. Croatia.
Yes.
So I'm watching the game, and the guy standing behind me, and the bartender, old school New Yorker, he goes, "Hey, buddy, you got to buy something if you're going to watch the game." He goes, "No, I'm going to work. I can't drink anything." He goes, "Okay, 5 minutes." So after 5 minutes comes, I call the bartender. I go, "Hey."
Carl's the best.
I go, I don't want to say anything, but my $6,000 watch says you're about 10 minutes slow. He goes, "Thanks, cuz." So he goes, "Hey, soccer guy." He goes, "Hey, soccer guy, time to go." Carl here says it's been 10 minutes. The guy looks at me and goes, more like 12 minutes. And the guy's like a real fucking nerd. And he goes, "I'm just watching the game. This is a free country." He goes, "It is a free country. It ain't a free fucking bar, though." So I'm like, it ain't a free fucking bar. You see what Trump is doing to kids? You think you're going to fucking sit in this bar? Oh, my God. So now I'm getting everybody riled up in the bar.
Stirring the pot.
I'm stirring the pot. And this guy, he must be all of 80 years old. And the guy stares and he keeps watching the game. And not only is he watching the game, he's being vocal. Like, oh, every time they miss a goal.
Yeah.
So he looks at me and goes, "Is this motherfucker an Argentina fan?" I go, "The biggest."
I'm going to Croatia.
He goes, "I banged a Croatian girl once." I'm like, "Do it for her." He comes around the bar, he goes, "That's it, Pancho."
Really? Yeah. That's it, Pancho.
And then I'm trying to get Spanish. I'm like, "Adios, amigo."
And he threw him out.
Threw him the fuck out. And people Rudy clapped him the whole way.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I got a free shot of Jim Beam for being American.
You joining us for the next podcast?
Hell yeah.
All right, we're turning this off. This is it. I dropped. So what did we get accomplished? Me and Carl got hot dogs. I dropped them off at the dive bar. Then I walked across to Central Park, picked up Vic. We had a nice stroll, and now we're moving on to Gebhard's and meeting up with Sherrod.
Now we can really start drinking.
It has something I like to call larceny.
Larceny.
That was some pretty good stuff. It was pretty good.
Oh, that's right.
It's Al Capone's bourbon.
That's right. Oh, you're talking about drinking, not stealing other people's jokes?
No.
All right, Joey, take it away. We're walking over to Gebhard's.
Well, looks like Greg put me in a tough spot again. I'm left here to tell you that this one's a used cliffhanger, and we'll pick it up right where we left off with the whole crew at Gebhard's in New York City. In the meantime, give this free show a 5-star review at Apple Podcasts. Buy a shirt or hat at OpieRadio.com. Check out Opie's Dead Fish video in the description link to this episode. Get involved with the listener community on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Opie Radio.
The Westwood One Podcast Network. The Ugly Truth with D.L. Ugly.
I didn't like Iron Man because it didn't have enough Budweiser cans in it. What's yeah, we can't. Iron Man should have Aluminum Man. Yeah, just a sidekick. That's so dumb. What about Bamboo Wood Man? Now, who got it? What about him?
The Ugly Truth. Download and subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and the Westwood One Podcast app. Free from the Westwood One Podcast Network.